All right, are we live yet? Henry McClure live, waiting for the signal. There we go. Henry McClure live. Hey, DJ, or MD, the label on this is, where does the buck stop? Maybe we could be a little more creative. Let's work on this a second here. Okay. I got a core request answer back from Amanda Stanley. And you know when you're getting stonewalled. And so at what point do the citizens see, how do we as citizens get angry at our city managers' employees? Or are they our employees? Like Braxton and Amanda Stanley. Her answer that she gave back on the Cora request. So sometimes you make a Cora request so you get nothing to prove, well, see, I told you it didn't exist. But in this instance, the request is, and let's just go back to the beginning, and this is all about Lawrence Bay, because this is what Spencer Duncan and any incumbent has really got to answer for. Karen Hiller, nobody's running, Sylvia, everybody has to answer for Lawrence Bay because the incumbents are the districts 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So when something's gone on a decade and it hasn't been fixed in a decade, well, you can't put that person, if you want to fix that one thing, let's say you want to fix that one thing. And the one thing is, to me, it's two different Topekas. This guy gets to be treated differently than the average guy. And maybe in some cases he deserves it, but it doesn't come, it's not fair when it comes to taxes. And especially when he tells everybody, well, I never intended on paying those taxes. Well, if you never intended on paying the taxes and a government official never went to take the property back, well, I think it's the government official that's the idiot. So this is why I ran for Shawnee County Commissioner, because I wanted to replace Kevin Cook, and Kevin Cook still needs to be replaced. And so I went and talked to Larry Ma, because he's the treasurer. So he's the big treasurer, right? Larry Ma says, no. This is all now relegated to the county councilor and the commissioners. Well, so I got into an argument with Rich Eckert, and he says, oh, nope, the city, that's the city's responsibility because those are specials. And the specials were put in by the city, and the reason the current owner has the properties is because when they elected to they basically ran Gene Yanni out of town because he started bucking the political system. And so Jim Klossman had to take properties back from Core First, but he also had to take good properties back. And I've noticed that he's changed the LLCs since I've been complaining about it, because Clayton Properties and LB Lots had some of the other good properties, and because I've been talking about cross collateralization. But back to the basics. So if the guy was never going to pay the taxes on him, and he's made it very clear, he made it very clear to me and Earl McIntosh, well, then why have they been working with the guy? Why didn't they just get a deed in lieu of foreclosure? Hey, Jim, as a matter of fact, I'll send you a memo after this. Why don't you just give him back, put him in the land bank, give him a dispenser? Now, he wants to be a real estate guy really bad, so let's give him the opportunity as a city councilman running the land trust. Put him in the land bank. Oh, and we should take the land trust money away and put them into streets, because the idea of land banking is really for like when you're like Central Park neighborhood. You know, I wanted to move east of Lane Street from 17th to Topeka Boulevard to Huntoon back to Lane. You know, that area only has 19% home ownership, but if you started land banking properties, you can go in and basically use urban renewal and start clear cutting. And some of those areas have the worst properties in Topeka. They've been cut up to 3, 4 plexes, duplexes, triplexes, and it's the oldest housing stock. And I tend to agree with the community about it's probably going to be a bad idea to put multifamily zoning across all of Topeka. You'll really lose the feeling of neighborhoods, and I don't think it's a good idea. But let's go back to Lawrence Bay, because I'd like to make this whole election about Lawrence Bay. Because so Larry didn't do it. Rich Eckert, let's put him. So he's the counselor. He's the king counselor, king lawyer. Rich Eckert runs the whole show over there. He's basically, I feel like he's the 4th county counselor. But no, he says, Henry, no, it's the city's responsibility. And I don't believe the county is living up to the appropriate way to foreclose on all the real estate with back taxes. And see, this is what I'm trying to say, is that they're selective in who they pick on. If you haven't collected back in 10 years, that's over and above the Call of Duty to let a guy put together a plan to redevelopment. So, I got to answer Rich Eckert. You ought to see this letter he wrote me about, and because I complained to Chris Kobach, and I still have a complaint with Chris Kobach. And it just seems like Topeka doesn't change because of friendships and relationships. And the thing about Lawrence Bay, that has little to no effect on the landowner. Zero whatsoever. Take them back. But he should give them back. But this is the reason you get rid of the incumbents. So the treasurer didn't do it. The county councilor didn't do it. The Three Stooges didn't do it. Cook, Mays, and Bill. Mr. Bill. Oh no! Oh no! Mr. Bill! So those guys didn't do their job over there. And I still don't think they do their job today, because I think there's 1,000 properties, but they don't want to get the properties back because they're more worried about mowing the empty lots than they are of moving the lots. And it's like owning a shoe store that you don't put the inventory out because you gotta pick up the shoes and put them on the shelf. So the county itself, all this under one box, they're negligent in the collection of the Lawrence Bay on behalf of the city, and I think they're negligent in the way that they dispose of all the properties that haven't paid taxes. I mean, you should be able to go to a website and just bid on 10 at a time, whatever. But that Rich Ecker, he's the busiest guy. He's very busy. He doesn't have time to collect all the back taxes. But they do have time. They do have time to decide who goes on the list. Okay, well, so now city officials, there's millions of dollars that haven't been paid out in Lawrence Bay, and now it's a decade later. Well, shouldn't somebody at the city be responsible? So now I say it's the city manager today. That's it. He runs the city. If somebody owes the city money, it's his job to collect it. And I think I think there will be people that report to him that might cost him his job in the future. The buck has got to start somewhere. Stop! The buck, Harry Truman, remember him? The buck stopped here. The buck stops here. So now I say, since the county didn't do their job, he runs the city. It's his job. What say you? If we just made the whole campaign about Lawrence Bay, that's the start. That's the reason not to put any incumbent back in. Then there's other failures we can talk about, but this one's gone on the longest. I'm sure if we dug, James Bolton, he keeps talking about how they took one of his properties away. So while I was getting my hair cut today, my barber, Bruce, is telling me about Spencer Duncan's billboards, all his signage. And so look, a vote for Spencer Duncan is a vote for continuing on exactly the way we're going. He's had years as city council person, and he wants to know what's going on. And I hold hours over in Fairlawn Plaza, and I do this and I do that. What I like, what I'm having fun right now is, I spent I think maybe $40 or $50 on some stencils to redo my old signs. And I can't wait to see who's donated money to his campaign. And every one of those people that donated money are the ones that want to keep it just like this. They don't want it to change. Hey, look, it's gone this way for a decade, the wrong way. We're going to continue down that road. If you vote for Spencer Duncan for mayor, you're going to get more of that. At least all us other characters, hey, we're changed. And I personally think I'm more qualified than my friends. They're good guys. But as a real estate developer and a broker and a salesman, I know what I'm up against with the city of Topeka. And why would you come here and do business with Topeka? You ought to hear what, Braxton probably needs to be tarred and feathered and run out of town. Hey, Dr. Perez, you met with the Wyndham guy. We had lunch with the Wyndham guy. The Wyndham guy's in town looking for sites for Echo, which is extended stay suites, and maybe a La Quinta. But the fact that they think this Dolce's coming to Topeka, see, Dr. Perez, that might pull you down later. Because look, I've been in meetings where you're trying to promote your guy. And if I ever did this at the Macerich Company, I would have got laughed out of the room. Man, those guys know how to pick on you. I think you could make it about the hotel first. Yeah, I understand the hotel. The hotel is the pimple on the middle of the forehead. The Lawrence Bay is what needs to be brought up. I mean, there isn't anything more galactically stupid than buying the hotel, and there isn't anything more galactically stupid than the way they're trying to sell it. And we should just stop right now. Your beginning bid should start at county appraisal. And since they had no business buying it, they have no business selling it. Who benefited? How did the taxpayers benefit from a $554,000 consulting fee? I mean, you guys, these numbers are so huge. And it would be a completely different issue if Braxton was pulling the money out of his own pocket. But the government doesn't care about how much it costs. Not only are they going to have money to buy dinner tonight, they didn't even have to make the money. It was just given to them. And we gotta change. We gotta call them on the carpet. We gotta do things better. Well, I got stuff to do. If nobody's told you they love you, I love you. Bruce, thank you for a nice haircut today. Nice trim. I got some work to do. I'm gonna try to find the energy tonight to put together the numbers on the AT&T building. Do you know that lease that Go Topeka has adds value to the AT&T building? Cody Foster and his group could probably sell the AT&T building today with Go Topeka's lease in process. Think about $9.5 million going into the AT&T building and Cody benefiting from it. and he probably could just sell it at a profit today. Look, AT&T was a loser building for the guy. So what, Cody? Hey, you lose on one, but you get government to bail you out. Hey, you're a great guy and you do a lot of great things, but that doesn't mean the taxpayers. You gotta have some of the risk. Now you know what it feels like to have a loser. But I think it's a real losing game taking taxpayer money. We're taxing people out of their houses. So yeah, you can talk about the hotel. You can talk about the AT&T building. But the main point about Lawrence Bay, it's what's gone on for a decade. And what it is, and they're all wrapped into one thing. It's treatment for the people up here. We're down here paying the bills, living the life, getting what we can. But it's about treatment for the people up here. Think about it. The AT&T building, the AT&T building, they have a secret meeting, the NGOs of Go Topeka. They have a secret meeting that the public can't go to, and there's a certain amount of members of Go Topeka that are in the room, but they don't even have enough courage. You don't even have enough courage to say who voted for what. Hey, Stephanie, why don't you tell us who voted? Jim Klossman says he didn't vote for AT&T. Well, prove it. Let's see the vote count. Think about it. And this is just another form of incompetence from JETO, which is made up of the county and the city. Look, JETO, the sales tax was to grow the population and broaden the tax base. It didn't do it. But now we're giving Cody Foster $9.5 million for the AT&T building. When are you guys going to wake up and smell the coffee? And these people, these haters that don't like me, that don't, why would you hate anybody that's trying to change it for the better? The benefit of the little guy. I'll tell you what we need to do more than anything. Tonight, or right now, we should pray for Topeka. We should pray for a future. And I've been getting some nice inspirational stuff. And I love it. Keep sending those. Let me see what it says. Whose idea was it to do what they did to 12th Street? At least they did it. They didn't do it to Huntoon. Hey, honey, Huntoon's in process right now. That's $3.5 million going to Bartlett and West. In fact, that will be a core request because I need Earl McIntosh to really see what Neil Dobler has done to our community as far as how much money he's been able to funnel to Bartlett and West. There was a project, it was called Elevation Parkway. And, we spent $2.3 million for fully engineered plans that just are dusty. And then what was so funny, it got back kind of on the table, they were looking at it, and then Neil Dobler said, no, those plans, those are going to need to be updated. And they wanted another $5 million to update it. Do you guys see it yet? Well, Henry McClure Live, telling it like it is, the voice of the rest of us. The voice for the rest of us. I'm live tonight here at the Glass Houses studio, which is part of the Ryan Mulwinkle empire of commercial real estate. And if you'd like to come in and chat with me, I've got office hours. I work 24/7. I need to make real estate deals. if you want to contribute to my campaign, buy a piece of real estate from me, because I'm not taking contributions. I can't wait to see all the people that donated to Spencer Duncan's campaign. And then think about this. Every one of them that donated to his campaign just wants to keep it the same. That's what it's all about. Duncan, the same. McClure, change. And on that note,